Last year, I built a simple consumer app, a learn piano app. And when it gained momentum, I had the brilliant idea of gamifying it. But I accidentally turned it into an entire game. Oops! Now, I can't stop. I've accidentally become a full-time indie game developer. In my mind, gamification just meant turning it into a game for some reason. And the more I built it, the more I fell in love with the process. The more I researched game revenue, the more I realized there's actually something here. Games are making serious money on the App Store. Last month, Honor of Kings generated $110 million. Whiteout Survival, $86 million. And Royal Match, $86 million. I'm not greedy. $1 million or $2 million per month, that'll be fine. But should you stop everything you're doing to create your own game? No, probably not. It turns out generating revenue from a game is much harder than it looks. My consumer apps generate $1 for every 2 downloads in the App Store. Meanwhile, my Swipe the Cat game generated $1 for every 100 downloads. Ouch. My Learn Piano game has taken me 10 times longer to build than any of my consumer apps, and that's 10 times the amount of effort for 10 times less revenue. Ouch. All from consumer apps. I mean, I did try building a game once back in my early days when I was young and naive, and that game went on to generate 256 downloads in total. 256. Ouch. I vowed, never again. Never will I build a game again. So, what's changed? There are 2 barriers to building games. 1, getting people to actually play your game, and 2, making any sort of money from it. And I think I might have a solution for both of those issues. It all started with my Learn Piano app, a simple MVP I released just a few years ago. I followed the same path for every other app that I built. I had an idea, I researched the keywords, and I built an MVP. This little Learn Piano app gained some momentum. I wanted to build on it, and I wanted my kids to love it. So I started to add gamification to it. My little Learn Piano app was going to have game mechanics like Duolingo, just something simple to get the kids interested in learning the piano and to reinforce the dopamine hit to something positive. And somehow I accidentally turned it into a fully fledged game with coins, levels, animations, everything. My obsessions with games has begun. And I think I had a secret weapon. This time, it will be different. This time, my game won't fail. Most game developers, especially indie game developers, are sleeping on App Store optimization. And I know because that's the mistake I made with the very first game that I released, Flappy Naught. It's like a version of Flappy Bird, but you're in space instead. So if I target keywords and I rank well for them, I could get people actually playing my game. And it kind of worked. 16,500 downloads later, 217 reviews on the App Store, a 4.6 star rating, and even got featured on the App Store for its integration with Apple Intelligence. Yes, you can use App Store optimization to get people actually playing your game. Next, the hardest problem of all. How to actually make money from your game. You can throw some ads in there, I guess, but you'd need thousands, maybe millions of people playing your game daily to get any sort of meaningful revenue. How do you even get that many people playing? Or maybe you can add in-game currency and consumable purchases. This seems to work well for games like Candy Crush. They generated $77 million last month from this revenue model. And I'm not greedy. $7 million a month will be fine. Only a fraction of that. So this is a strategy that I've applied to my Swipe the Cat game. Add new game scenes, cosmetic changes to the game, and people can unlock it with in-game currency. But these take time to create, and you need to add a lot of content for people to justify purchasing. It's a lot of work, especially for a solo independent app developer turned game developer overnight. But what if the objective isn't to monetize the game right away? What if the objective is to build a brand and prove an idea in the App Store first? And perhaps the objective is to get published or acquired. Recently, I noticed a new indie games category within the App Store. And this also appears in the Apple Games app. And I think this could actually be a game changer. It's a signal that Apple is taking independent games seriously enough that they're adding a whole new category. They're starting to make their platform friendlier for self-publishers like me. And sure, this could help you rank in the charts a bit better. I mean, your casual game is no longer competing with real games like Candy Crush. Now it can rank on the indie charts against other indie developers. And you have more of an opportunity to stand out now. And maybe there's even an audience of players who actually want to support indie games. So they're prepared to give your game a go. But what's not so obvious is that this category could be ripe for acquisition. I'm thinking that publishers and investors would be keeping an eye on upcoming IP and upcoming game ideas. Ranking in the indie charts could get your game seen by the right people, and it could land you a publishing deal or acquisition offer. That is a game changer for me. It means the objective is no longer short term. It's not about generating maximum revenue now through in-app purchases or monetization. It's the long game. It's about building games for players first, building an IP and creating fun games that people actually want to play. Then maybe, just maybe, my game gets published or it gets acquired. Or it goes viral. But getting your app listed in the indie category doesn't seem to be as straightforward as you would think. There's no option in App Store Connect, and it seems to be curated by Apple themselves. So I guess there's some hoops you need to jump through to get your app listed in this category, and maybe that's actually a good thing. It means less saturated category and more opportunity to stand out. Oh yes, Adam, there's a viable market here for it. Don't worry your game didn't generate as much revenue as you thought. Some magical investor will come along and pluck it out from the App Store and you'll generate millions of dollars anyway. So here's the thing. In reality, I've just fallen in love with building these silly little games. I want to connect with my kids. I want to make things that they will love. I want them to say, my dad made that. And they're my target audience. They're the ones that I want to reach. I have no disillusion that these games will make nearly as much revenue as my consumer apps, but it's nice to see that there is a pathway here. Somewhere there's a pathway that I can continue to follow my passion, learn new things, and just see what happens. And this has kind of worked out really well for me in the past. I don't know why this time would be any different. Something great might come of it. Maybe it's a dead end, or most likely the outcome is just somewhere in between. But I'm enjoying the process and I'm having a lot of fun while I do it. Check out my Swipe the Cat game. It's free on the App Store. I'll put a link in the description below. And let me know in the comments if me yapping about game development is something you'd like to hear more about. I'll try to make this sort of content as relatable to app development as I can, because there's kind of a lot of similarities here.